Okay, so today we're going to be doing a review on multi-digit multiplication. So you'll notice that the table of contents is up there already. If you haven't already copied that down, please make sure you do that and then fold your notes in half and glue them in. If you borrowed glue, make sure you put it back whenever you're done using it. Okay. Today we're going to start with just a review. We're going to do some practice problems together, then you're going to do some practice on your own, and then we're just going to have a little task card activity and then independent practice shortly after that. So to start out, we're going to focus on the very front of your notes where it says multiplication vocabulary. It says 3 times 7 equals 21. So as we're talking about multiplication problems, it is important that you know the difference between a factor and a product. So the factors are what you multiply together. The product is the answer that you get after multiplying those factors together. Okay, so you'll hear factor, you'll also hear the words partial product today as well. So coming down here, this is the method review. So this is a standard algorithm for multiplying multi-digit numbers. Okay, we should know how to do 3-digit by 2-digit numbers. If you forgot, we're going to go over that right now today. Now I'm going to be using different colors for each part of my multiplication problem. So each partial product will be a different color so that you can see the steps that I'm taking in case you have forgotten. Yes.
Do we have to do different colors?
You don't have to. If you want to, you can though. Okay, so I have 532 times 14. So I'm going to start in my ones place. I'm going to take that 4. I'm going to multiply it times 2. So what is 4 times 2? 8. So that goes right here. Then I'm going to take that same 4, I'm going to multiply it over to the next digit in the tens place. So 4 times 3 is 12. And don't forget, you've got to carry your 1 up here. Then I take that same 4 and I multiply it all the way over here times the 5. 4 times 5 is 20. Plus the 1, 21. So 21. Okay, so this is my first partial product. I have 2, 1, 2, 8. For my next partial product, I'm going to now mark out the 4, mark out the 1. I want to make sure that I do not get myself confused and reuse something that was from the first set of multiplication. So I'm going to take the 1 now, and I'm going to multiply it by the 2 in the ones place. So 1 times 2 is, do I put it right here?
No.
Ooh, what did I forget to do?
To put a placeholder.
Yeah, I got to put a placeholder. Very good. I like to put a 0 with a slash through it to show that it's my placeholder. That way I don't get confused and think that I multiplied something and it equaled 10, okay? It's just a placeholder. So now I can do 1 times 2. I make sure I put it underneath here. And then 1 times 3. And then 1 times 5. Okay. Now, what do I do with these two partial products? I add them together. So I'm going to add all of that together. And you should end up with 7,448. Now we're going to come over here and we're going to look at a couple of practice problems. We're going to do the same thing that we just did again. I'm using different colors again. All right, so I'm going to start with the ones, the 9 in the ones column, and I'm going to multiply it by all 3 of the digits on the top number. So first I'm taking 9 times 6, which is 54, carry the 5, then 9 times 5, plus the 5, good, carry my 5 again, and then 9 times 7, plus 5, 68. Okay, now I am done with the 9 and these 5s up here, and I want to remember to put my placeholder down here. Now I can start multiplying the 2 by the top row. So 2 times 6, carry the 1. 2 times 5, plus the 1 that I just carried, 11. Carry that 1 again up here. And then 2 times 7 is 14, plus the 1 that I carried is 15.
Can you add that?
Okay, now I'm going to add all that together. I'm going to add my two partial products. Notice how I circled every number that I carried. That way I know that it's a number that has been carried over. I'm not going to get confused with part of my answer, okay?
I just made it shorter.
That's fine. Where does my comma go in this number?
After the one.
After the 1. So my answer for this one should be 21,924, and I like to box my answers. Okay, next one. We have 844 times 155. We have 3 digits this time. Okay, notice that when I multiplied by 2 digits, I had 2 partial products. This time I have 3 digits, which means I will have 3 partial products that I have to add together. Okay, so we're going to start with,
I like the lifesaver thing.
so I'm going to start with the last 5 in the ones place. I'm going to multiply it up times the 4 straight above. So 5 times 4 is 20. Carry the 2 over. Then 5 times 4 is 20, but plus the 2 is 22. And carry the 2 again. And then the last one.
Why is that one? Why are those 1 and 2 5s so close to each other?
Oh, it's probably just the font. Okay, then 5 times 8 is 40 plus the 2.
42.
So 42. Good. All right, so my first partial product is 4220. Now, I'm done with that. I'm going to put my placeholder. Now I can start multiplying the next 5. So I start here, multiply it times the 4 in the ones place, which is 20. Carry the 2. 5 times 4, 20 plus the 2 is 22. It's going to be the exact same thing that I just did, except for shifted down a place. And then that's going to be 42. And then we have one more. So I'm going to mark this 5 out, mark out those 2s, and I'm going to put 2 placeholders this time. Why do I have 2 zeros this time?
No, on the
1 was a placeholder.
Because the ones and the tens place are both already used.
Yeah, because the 1s and the 10s place have both already been used. These numbers right here, I've already used. So I have to put a placeholder underneath the 10s column. I also have to put a placeholder underneath the 1s column. Okay, the thing that I notice the most whenever students are multiplying multi-digit numbers is people forget to put their placeholders. They start multiplying, and like right here, for example, you can get confused pretty easily thinking, wait, I did 5 times 4, which is 20, so why do I have this extra 0? Remember, I put a slash through it to remind myself that it's a placeholder 0, not a 0 that I got from multiplying 5 times 4. Okay, so be sure that you mark it, or you at least know for sure if it's a placeholder or a 0 that's not a placeholder.
Do you count it as you're adding? Can you count
The zeros? The placeholder? Yeah. You do. You'll add them all together. So like in that last column, it's just 0 plus 0 plus 0. Did you have a question?
No.
Comment?
No.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to keep going. I'm going to take that 1 times the 4 on the end, which is 4. 1 times the 4 in the middle, which is 4. And then 1 times the 8, which is 8. And now I can add all of this together. I have 3 partial products. So I should have, and it's a 3-digit number, so I should have 3 rows. And I do, so I know I did it right. 2 plus 0 and 0 is just 2. 2, 2, and 4 is 8. 4, 2, and 4 is 10. Carry the 1. And then 1, 4, and 8 is 13. And my comma goes, the comma goes between the 0 and the 8. So my answer is 130,820. Okay. Let's look at down here where it says error analysis. Have y'all ever done this before?
No.
Good. Okay, it has a problem worked out for us, but it tells us to rework the problem. And it says what error was made and explain. So we're going to rework this problem to see what we can figure out. So we have 485 times 64. Please remember, if I'm writing, you're writing. So this should also be on your paper. You can write it bigger. You don't have to write it as small as me if you want. Just make sure you have enough room. Okay. I'm going to start with the 4 in the ones column, and I'm going to multiply it by the 5 straight above. What's 4 times 5?
20.
Good. Carry that 2. Then 4 times 8 is 32, plus 2 is, carry that 3. And then 4 times 4 is 16, plus 3 is 19. Okay, so here I'm done with the 4. I'm going to mark out everything that I used when I multiplied that 4 by all of those numbers. Plus, I want to remember my placeholder. Super important. Now, I'm going to take this 6 and multiply it by 5. So what is 6 times 5?
30.
30. Carry the 3. Then 6 times 8 is 48. Plus 3 is 51. And then 6 times 4
24.
plus 5, 29. Very good. I only have a 2-digit number, so I'm only going to have 2 partial products. Once I have both of them, I can add them together. Don't forget to carry your 1 and add it in. So your answer should be 31,040. Now, we need to look back at what we got over here. Okay, where did this person who solved this problem make a mistake? Jude, can you explain?
Instead of the 19 at the very beginning, they did 48.
Yeah, how did they get that? Anybody know?
They multiplied the 6 times the 8 instead of the 4 times the 8. They did 4 first. They did 4 the first time, but they only did. They took down the 0, thinking, and then they multiplied the. They forgot the 4. Then they forgot the 4.
Okay, so they forgot to do the 4 to multiply it. Is that what y'all are saying? Okay, very good. All right, so what error was made? How can we explain that in words? Because you guys were kind of pointing and kind of explaining a little bit, but can anybody come up with a way to explain that in words?
They multiplied the wrong number.
They multiplied the wrong number. What did they multiply instead?
They multiplied the 6 instead of the 4.
Okay, so we can write that down. They multiply in your own words. You just write down however you want to explain that. They multiplied the 6 instead of the 4. They multiplied the wrong number. You explain in your own words what they did wrong there. We've talked about it a little bit. We've had a couple different people explain.
How do you spell multiply?
M-U-L-T. I'll write it up here.
You write, they got it wrong.
No, you have to explain why.
They got it wrong because they got it wrong.
Miss Watson, are we using computers today?
We'll see. Okay, once you have that copy down, there is a practice page right next to this multiplication practice set that we did together, and it says on your own. So you guys are going to do this one on your own. Okay, solve both of those problems, complete the error analysis, compare with somebody at your table to make sure that you did it right. So maybe solve the first problem, compare with someone else that's done. Solve the next problem, compare, and then complete the error analysis and compare. We'll talk about these in just a few minutes. So I'm going to give you about 5 minutes or so, maybe a little bit more if we need longer to get this page done, then we'll check over it together. Okay, we're going to go ahead and check over our work. Okay. If you and your group mates got something different, we're going to check it right now so that you can see exactly what we should have done. So remember, I told you guys that if you are multiplying a number by a 2-digit number, you're going to have 2 partial products. So for example, in this problem, My second number down here on the bottom is 2 digits, which means I have 1, 2 partial products that I have to add together. I'm going to explain this in just a minute. If you're multiplying by a 3-digit number on the bottom, then you have 1, 2, 3 partial products that you have to add together. Okay, now,
I came up with the same answer.
you just left out your,
But I just didn't keep writing.
that's fine. Okay, so let's talk about the first problem first. 448 times 34, so that way you can correct it if you need to. I first started with the 4 in the ones column. I did 4 times 8, which is 32, so I wrote my 2 here and carried my 3. It's all in purple. Okay, so look at my purple. Then 4 times 4 is 16, plus that 3 is 19, and I carried my 1. And then 4 and 4 make 16, plus the 1 that I carried, which is 17. So that first partial product should be 1792. If it's not, fix it right now so that it's correct in your paper.
The answer, how's it a 15, not a 14?
Well, I've only explained the first partial product. Okay.
I thought I got I had 15, 232 for start, at the start, but then,
Did you second guess yourself?
Else on my group table had a different answer, so, but then I checked it, and then I forgot my 1, like, I had my 1 when I, did the whole thing, but then I didn't see it.
The second time you did it?
Yeah.
Okay, so don't forget those ones that you're carrying or all the little numbers that you carry, because you can overlook them pretty easy. Okay, let's look at this second partial product. Everything in blue this time is what we're looking at on my screen. So I have to remember to put my placeholder. I'm going to go ahead and mark out everything that I've already used so I can start fresh. So I'm going to now take this 3 times 8, which is 24, and I got to carry that 2 up there. Oops, sorry. Sorry, Elise. Then I'm going to do 3 times 4, which is 12, but I got to add the 2 at the top. So what's 12 plus 2? 14. So I got to put the 4 here, carry the 1 up here. Now I can do 3 times 4, which is 12, plus that 1, which is 13. Okay, now I have my 2 partial products. I want to combine them together, add the 2 partial products, and I get 2 in the last column. 9 plus 4 is 13, carry my 1 above the 7. 1 and 7 make 8, plus 4 is 12, carry the 1 above the 1. 1 and 1 makes 2, plus 3 is 5, and then just bring the 1 down. So 15,232. Okay, the next one. Because it's a 3-digit number, I'm going to have 3 partial products this time. I'm going to start with the 3 times 5, and I get 15, carry the 1. Then 3 times 7 is 21, plus that 1, 22, carry the 2. I see some of y'all making corrections. That's great. Good. I want you to correct it as we go. Then 3 times 9 is 27, plus the 2 is 29. Got lost in my colors for a second. Now, some of you may have eliminated this row right here, which is fine. I put it in there so that you would still see that partial product. Because when I multiply anything by a 0, it's going to basically give me an entire row of zeros. I have my placeholder here, and then 0 times 5 is 0, 0 times 7 is 0, 0 times 9 is 0. You could, some of you did, you could eliminate that row and just go ahead and skip that and just put 2 placeholders down here. That would be fine. But until you are confident and until you have it down and you have this multiplication down solid, I want you to put that row of zeros in so that you can see what all you have multiplied, okay? Okay, last number, I have 2 times 5, which is 10, carry the 1.
Watson, when I was checking my friend, I was like, I have 2,744, and I forgot, and I realized
Okay,
I forgot
oh, hold on, you're jumping ahead. We're not there yet. Hold on. Okay, so 2 times 5 is 10, carry the 1. 2 times 7 is 14, plus that 1 is 15. That's where this 5 came from. I have to carry the 1. And then 2 times 9 is 18, plus that 1 is 19. So when I add all 3 of my partial products together, I end up with 197,925. Are y'all doing okay? Okay. All right, last one, error analysis. So I rewrote my problem off to the side so that I could rework it. And red is my first partial product. So I did 7 times 3 to get 21, carried my 2. 7 times 4 is 28, but I got to add that 2, which gives me 30. So I put a 0 and carry my 3. Then I can do 3 times 7 to get 21, plus that 3 is 24. So that's how I got 2401 for my first partial product. Then I'm going to mark everything out that I've used. I cross out this 7 in the ones place, cross out what I carried up here, and put my placeholder so I don't forget and I don't misalign them and add the wrong things. Now I can start with 8. 8 times 3, I put a 4 down here, carry my 2. 8 times 4 is 32, plus that 2 is 34, so I have to put the 4 here and carry my 3. And then 8 times 3 is 24, plus the 3 makes 27. I have both of my partial products. I'm multiplying by a 2-digit number, so I need 2 partial products. Add them together, and you get 29,841.
On up here, when it's 3 times 9 is right here.
Okay.
Like 3 times 9 is 27, and then you would do plus the 1.
Plus the 2, because you carried the 2 first. Okay. The error that this person made here is that in the second partial product, they were like, oh, okay, 8 times 3 is 24, so they just put it down there instead of putting the 4, carrying the 2, and then continuing on. Okay, Jude.
I did. They didn't add the 2.
They did not add the 2. Good.
I forgot to put that right there.
Anything else?
I think they didn't carry the 2 and 24.
Good. Did not carry the 2. Perfect. Okay, any questions? Okay. We are going to go ahead and our practice today. We had 5 task cards, but I think what I'm going to do is allow you to just start your independent practice now, so you have 20 minutes of class time to get that done. If you finish early, you may do cool math games, but I do not want you rushing through your work, okay? Make sure you show all of your steps, show all of your work. Make sure you box in your answers or circle your answers so that I can see it, and read the directions, guys, before you start. Do we have any questions before we begin? Okay, I'm going to pass out your work.